It's normal. I don't think it's okay for children to be smoking, 12 to 15 cigarettes a day, because that's what children are doing just by the process of breathing each day.
If everything else is open, then why aren't schools open?
Air pollution exposure is going to be substantially lesser at home. In fact, in many homes, it could actually be higher.
It's a very difficult situation because what with the pandemic and then with the pollution that is happening across northern India, the most vulnerable population of our country, which is the children, are facing the biggest onslaught as far as their learning is concerned.
Pollution is a pandemic. It's a public health emergency. When we have levels that exceed 200 AQI of 200, that is a public health emergency. That kind of exposure is insane for young children, seniors, pregnant women, and people with comorbidities.
The pollution problem has been going on for the last 5 to 6 years. By this time, we consider to be a progressive government. We should have made some inroads into how do we deal with this. There should have been some protocols in place. After all, protocols have been placed during the COVID time. We have opened out in a big way. So why can't protocols be placed even for pollution?
We are seeing non-communicable diseases rise because of air pollution. Things like lung cancers, and COPD, and infertility, heart disease, neuro problems, all these things are on the rise. As far as children are concerned, certainly, we don't recommend any kind of play or activity for children when the AQI exceeds 200. And since November 3rd, the morning of Diwali, our AQI has consistently been averaging, 250 or 300 plus. So, do we want to normalize an AQI of 250? I don't think it's okay for children to be smoking, 12 to 15 cigarettes a day, because that's what children are doing just by the process of breathing. Absolutely, the Supreme Court is well within their right to step in and call this health emergency and call an emergency an emergency and call an air emergency in our city. Let's keep another thing in mind, that we have a twindemic right now. We have two pandemics in play. COVID as well as air pollution, and both create an oxidative stress in the body. One's a respiratory poison, which is air pollution, and the other is a respiratory virus that creates an oxidative stress. Let's keep that in mind as well.
I just don't think that the disruption that it causes is worth the very uncertain benefits it seems to generate, and therefore I'm not sure that this is necessarily a good approach to take. Also, we shouldn't need the Supreme Court to sort of step in to take emergency responses. I mean, I'm glad that they have sort of taken that they have followed up on this issue consistently and have sort of pushed the executive to be more responsive. But in many ways, what you would want, as I already mentioned, is for the executive branch, be it at the state level or at the central level, to sort of have a more systematic approach.
I do think that you become like the bad person if you say that children should come to school. You're immediately looked upon as though you don't care about a child, and it's the life of a child that is at stake. It should not be an either or situation. That itself is it's skewed. Of course, the life of a child is most important, but then we've also got to get on with living. We also have to find different ways and means. You found a way of mean around the COVID, haven't we? We have to find a way around the learning. We have to really look at how our young children are moving forward, because this is a foundational stage, and foundational stage is when the basis of education is built on this stage. And we must ensure that the kids have a basic literacy, numeracy, study program in place. Otherwise, it will become extremely difficult for them because learning is empirical. It is one on top of the other. And if their foundation stages are so sort of empty, and they have so many gaps, we're going to feel this problem 10 years down the line when they will enter university, or when they'll go into higher education, or even later when they go into the job market. It's going to become very problematic for them because all these learning gaps that are happening right now is going to affect their entire careers and their lifestyles as they grow. And I think that is why it is essential that the North India, whether it is the state of Delhi or Rajasthan or Haryana, which is sort of around the areas that we are working around, must have procedures in place and must open schools for younger children.
What we need is to invest in our processes, right? That we should not have to wait till levels get as bad as they are to initiate these emergency responses.
Solutions need to be comprehensive. Most importantly, this needs to be a comprehensive all year round plan. You cannot wake up in mid-October and try to do band-aid fixes on something that is just bleeding profusely.
We can't find our way across pollution. Then let's look at the learning calendar, the academic calendar of schools, and say which are the dates where pollution is the most. Let's declare holidays on those dates. And which are the dates when we can work and be together and have children coming to school? Let's declare them as regular school days. I mean, we have to find some via media, no? But everybody is into a shortcut mode. Everything is a knee-jerk. This has happened, shut the school. That's happened, shut the school. Business is open, industry is opened, everything is open, entertainment is open, hospitality is open. Why aren't schools open? They're safe places. I know that, and if they're not safe places, then the government should ensure that their schools become safe for children. So much can be thought about. But no, we're not doing all that. We're not looking at our calendars. We're not trying to rework how do we look at school opening. All we're doing is saying, at the slightest, shut down school.